Hey there guys, you're here with Bo, and thank you for tuning in to another video here with me at Cryptocurrency Australia. Now today we have a fascinating article here. Ex-Trump economist joins crypto central bank after failed bid. Now that's a little bit misleading, that title, because his bid wasn't actually failed. He withdrew his application, but besides the point, we're going to get into this article which holds incredibly important significance because of who this guy actually is. We're going to dive right into his background and his connections to Donald Trump and what this could mean for cryptocurrency in this video. So stick around guys, thank you for tuning in and let's get started. So welcome back to the video guys, thank you for tuning in. You are here with Bo Stoner from Cryptocurrency Australia. Now this article we're getting into today is ex-Trump economist joins crypto central bank after failed bid. Now just getting into the article here, Stephen Moore, who recently rescinded his bid to join the Federal Reserve, announced plans to start his own cryptocurrency mini Fed, billed as the world's first decentralized central bank, according to Fox Business. A pitch deck sent exclusively to Fox allegedly said Moore has teamed up with a group of unnamed entrepreneurs to develop a central bank, ironically called Decentral, aimed at reducing the volatility among digital currencies. The bank will attempt to regulate the supply of crypto. Just as the Fed controls monetary policy in the US, it will exchange its own dollar-backed token for other cryptocurrencies and use an algorithm to control the amount of stable tokens in circulation. Decentral officials told Fox, this stablecoin is similar to Facebook's Libra and aims to promote uniformity and reliability among a fractured landscape of digital assets. I'm really excited about doing this, Moore told the business media outlet. I hope it makes me rich. He must have been joking there. Surely he wouldn't have said that in that context that I'm reading this. Moore said he will officially join Decentral on July 1st as Chief Economic Officer and report to Sam Kazemian, Decentral CEO. These guys are super smart, he said of his partners. He also told Fox he believes cryptocurrencies can circulate in the economy in such a way that they don't conflict with the Fed's monetary policy, adding, "This is an alternative way of making payments." Kazemian told Fox that Decentral isn't trying to compete with the Fed, but plans to introduce their business model to Fed officials at some point. Decentral will solve the biggest problem facing regulators when it comes to the crypto space, the current instability of pricing, he said. Our goal is to be collaborative, not combative. The next big wave in the crypto space is a digital currency that is designed to be useful to consumers and keep stable prices instead of acting as a volatile speculative investments. Stablecoins are the next big innovation in the crypto industry. It says here, it's unclear how Decentral will convince holders to trade their crypto for this new token, or how the firm will act to prevent inflation, a core mandate of Fed, if the business does not have authority to act as a central clearinghouse. Now, besides the business and, their value proposition of a stable coin and what they want to do, that's irrelevant. What is important here is the symbology of how this guy who was put forward by President Trump, President of the United States, put this guy forward to be a Federal Reserve governor. Now, Stephen Moore, as you can see here, wrote a book called Trumponomics. President Trump personally commented on this, an incredible book on my economic policies. So this guy is highly respected by Donald Trump. Now, do you think this guy would join as an executive a cryptocurrency-based project if he didn't think that cryptocurrency was going to be a positive industry moving forward in the United States? I highly, highly doubt it. That's why this is so significant. It's not so much the business and what they're doing. It's that this guy in particular, this Stephen Moore, which we're going to get into in just a bit more detail in just a moment. The significance is that this guy, who was endorsed by President Trump to run for a Federal Reserve position as a governor, is joining a cryptocurrency business. That is huge. I mean, this is mind-blowingly massive. Now, if you guys have followed me for a while, I did a video back on March 25th, 2019, called Is the Trump Administration Pro-Bitcoin, where I go into in detail this guy in particular and some other staffers, including the chief of staff to President Trump, who are pro-Bitcoin. And I try and work out whether Trump himself is pro-Bitcoin. And I tell you what, there's not a lot of information out there, but there's more information pointing towards him being neutral or positive towards Bitcoin than negative. And a lot of that comes from this guy, Stephen Moore, amongst others. So I highly recommend you go and check this video out, guys. There'll be a link down in the description. So now let's get into a little bit more detail about who Stephen Moore is. Over here on his Wikipedia, reading through, Stephen Moore is an American writer and television commentator on economic issues. He co-founded and served as president of the Club for Growth from 1999 to 2004. Moore is a former member of the Wall Street Journal editorial board. He worked at the Heritage Foundation during the period from 83 to 87 and again since 2014. Moore advised Herman Cain's 2012 presidential campaign and Donald Trump's 2016 presidential campaign. Moore advocates tax cuts and other supply-side policies. Moore's columns have appeared in outlets such as the Wall Street Journal, the Washington Times, the Weekly Standard, and National Review. In 2017, he left Fox News Channel to join CNN as a senior economic analyst, leaving that position in early 2019. Along with Larry Kudlow, Moore advised the Trump administration during the writing and passage of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. On March 15, 2009, President Donald Trump announced that Moore would be nominated to serve as a governor of the Federal Reserve. On May 2nd, 2019, Moore withdrew his name from consideration, and I'm not exactly sure why that is. Now, getting down into some of the more important parts about this man's career. From 83 to 87, Moore served as the Grover M. Herman Fellow in Budgetary Affairs at the Heritage Foundation. In 1987, Moore was Research Director of President Ronald Reagan's Privatization Commission. Moore spent 10 years as a Fellow of the Cato Institute, a libertarian think tank. Here's where we're going to get into the Cato Institute. The Cato Institute is an American libertarian think tank headquartered in Washington, D.C. It was founded as the Charles Koch Foundation in 1974 by Ed Crane, Murray Rothbard, and Charles Koch, chairman of the board and chief executive officer of the conglomerate Koch Industries. Reading down here, the Cato Institute is libertarian in its political philosophy and advocates for a limited role for government in domestic and foreign affairs. This includes support for abolishing minimum wage laws, opposition to universal health care, the privatization of many government agencies, including Social Security, NASA, and the United States Postal Service, as well as public schooling, abolishing child labor laws, and non-interventionist foreign policy. Now, Murray Rothbard. Murray Newton Rothbard was an American heterodox economist of the Austrian school, historian and political theorist, whose writings and personal influence played a seminal role in the development of modern right libertarianism. Rothbard was the founder and leading theoretician of anarcho-capitalism, which many crypto investors would describe themselves as. A staunch advocate of historical revisionism and a central figure in the 20th century American libertarian movement. He wrote over 20 books on political theory, revisionist history, economics, and other subjects. Rothbard asserted that all services provided by the monopoly system of the corporate state could be provided more efficiently by the private sector, and wrote that the state is the organization of robbery, systemized and writ large. He called fractional reserve banking a form of fraud and opposed central banking. He categorically opposed all military, political, and economic interventionism in the affairs of other nations. According to his protege, Hans Hermann Hoppe, there would be no anarcho-capitalist movement to speak of without Rothbard. So Murray Rothbard, in addition to Ludwig von Mises, are generally the two guys that are the most highly respected and spoke about when it comes to the School of Austrian Economics. And this guy co-founded the Cato Institute, of which Stephen Moore was a fellow for 10 years. So this guy has libertarian Austrian economic ideals. He's written a book that was endorsed by President Trump. He advised President Trump during the 2016 presidential campaign, and he's now just joined a new cryptocurrency blockchain business. Wow. I'm almost at a loss for words as to how significant this is. I'm telling you, these people don't jump into these things if they don't see a future there. They do not go forward in publicly moving into new positions, founding businesses, or joining executive seats if there is not a future there, especially someone that's had such close connections to President Donald Trump. So overall, guys, I'm extremely excited. I think this is one of the most significant bits of news to come out in the past few weeks. I think it's extremely positive for the industry in general. I can't wait to see what happens, actually. And I looked into this company just before. I wish I had the link still up. And I think I actually have met and know as an acquaintance one of the guys that joined the team that I was actually running a conference in Thailand. Henry Liu, I think his last name is. Lovely guy. So absolutely awesome to see, someone that I've personally met on this team as well, which is super, super cool. So anyways, guys, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it was informative. If it was, the likes was really appreciated. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to do so for daily content. Press the subscribe button down just below the video or at the end of this video. Make sure to hit the little bell for notifications. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you thought. Do you think this is significant, or do you think it's, nothing really to write home about? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Just want to say thank you guys for watching. I appreciate your time. My name's Bo. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.